What's up, everybody? This is Steiker, aka Chocolate Poppy, aka your girlfriend's favorite wrestler. This is NorCal tonight, baby. Stay tuned. Stay up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Allstate Chris with another awesome episode of NorCal tonight. I have with me today the hidden gem of NorCal.
Thank you.
One of the best around, period. I got Matt Carlos with me, man.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. We're just gonna talk a little wrestling, kind of what got you into stuff, and just kind of see where we go with this conversation. So, did you like wrestling when you were a child?
Of course. As long as I can remember, I've always been a fan of wrestling. If we're going there nice and early, it's just because my parents were divorced when I was real young, so it's always changing. Summers are changing, weekends are changing, but the one thing that always stayed constant for me, of course, was the wrestling ring and everything like that. Yeah. So that's what really got me hooked in, because I was looking for something to sink my teeth into, and that was it. Wrestling from the get-go.
Wow, man, that's cool stuff. Were you WCW, WWE?
Both.
Really?
Actually, both, and anything I could find, whether it be WWF, WCW, ECW, the TV, the wrestling that they show like on Channel 12 that doesn't even have a name for it, but it's still wrestling.
That's cool.
I'll watch it. Lucha, anything.
Yeah, that's
just
cool.
Just a fan
stuff.
of wrestling.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. That's awesome. VHS tapes, right?
Yeah, of course. You go to Blockbuster, there's only about like 4 or 5 of them. You know you gotta get the one you haven't seen yet. So,
been there. That's cool. When did you find out about independent wrestling and training and all that kind of stuff?
I would want to say I found out about independent wrestling or like my senior year in high school is when I went to like my first show. And then actually training, I didn't really figure. I was just going to the shows. I didn't figure like, these are all small-time guys, guys from around the area doing it. Yeah. So it took me like another year after high school to figure out, hey, training is something I could do. So I did it and signed up at the old APW, at the APW garage in Hayward, the infamous garage, and through there I was lucky enough to meet Roland Alexander and be under his mentorship for a while there. And then I get to be trained by a bunch of different heads, bunch of different styles. So it was a blast, and I truly miss those times at the garage. And I don't know if you've ever been there.
I've never
been there. Oh man,
my brother rubs it in my face all the time.
Oh yep, I'm sure you would have loved it.
We've heard tons of stories too. I guess the APW garage. I've seen a lot of people come in and come out, and a lot of names and things like that. Did you ever have any opportunities to, pick the minds of what some people call the big guys, the big names?
I never wanted to go out. I guess I should, because they always say that you should go up and ask big names, but like kind of the way we were also trained was to not be too big of a fan when you're out there, and sometimes exactly, and sometimes when you're on the same show, it's hard to gauge whether or not you could have that mentorship with some people, because some people are just busy, some people are focusing on their match. But I think if there's one thing I probably should do is maybe go out of my way to ask these guys, hey, can you watch my match and stuff like that, because really I probably didn't get all the opportunity I did to pick everyone's brain, but little by little I got to pick enough people's brain, I feel.
Yeah, when you had your trainers, you felt super confident at that point with your trainers, and that's awesome, man. It's good to have a good foundation like that. So you started at the APW. How long after you started training did you actually get into the ring and start competing?
Start competing, it took me maybe about if I'm narrowing it down, it was like a year and a half, because there was a time in between. I took 6 months off because of work schedules for jobs and stuff like that. So there was a time where I took off there. But after that, I was always consistent. I was being a ref at the time. So
cool.
My fun build-up was against Chris Coleone, who was a part of the Mafia, against my trainer, Venice DeMarco. And he put the beat down on me because I'm the ref and I'm screwing up his matches, making him lose, right? But which led to him throwing me out of the ring, and then us leading to a little feud going on for me to debut. So there's always good memories I had to start off there.
That's awesome, man. So a year, because if you were to take away that 6 months, you said about a year and a half.
Yeah,
about a year. And you just debuted at the APW Garage. Do you remember your actual first professional wrestling match?
I do.
Awesome.
That was a match against Chris Coleone I was talking about. And
that was actually the payoff for the...
Yeah, that was the big payoff for beating down the ref. And then I don't want to be a ref anymore. I want to be a wrestler. So it was a smooth transition, and I really loved every minute of it. And,
man, that's exciting stuff, bro.
It was
That's exciting.
cool.
So, you're at APW. What year was that? Like 2000?
Okay, when I started training, right around there. Because when I started training, it was July 2006. And then I debuted like November 2008, so that was that good healthy year and a half, plus the extra 6 months I was missing.
Yeah.
But by then it was like the end of November 1st, 2008. Halloween Hell.
Halloween Hell.
Yeah,
oh, you did?
exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, did you just strictly work there for a while before you started branching out to take other bookings elsewhere?
It actually, for me, it didn't really take too long for myself to branch out to other companies, because that week I debuted in APW. The very next week I worked Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Oh, wow.
Throughout my early career, I've always been kind of tied into PCW, Pro Championship Wrestling, so I was kind of weaving in and out of there. At the beginning I worked Vendetta, Pro Wrestling Vendetta a lot, whether it be tag team or singles. I did that for a minute. And all the other little ones in between.
But you just jumped right out there and just started getting your face out there. That's awesome, man.
Actually, we're here at the gold mine. I couldn't put over Sparky Ballard. I look at him as the inspiration of people who are going out to shows and really trying to get on shows, because before I was just training, doing my thing, working the places where I knew people, but Sparky was going out of his way to shake the hands, to meet the new people, to kind of do what he does with the kids at the gold mine, just push them out there to show face, so when it comes time, people can use you. And I owe that to Sparky and his hustle.
He just kind of took the reins and just followed lead.
Pretty much just hopped in the van with them and all right, where are we going this weekend?
Make sure your boots are in the bag, right?
Yep. Sometimes you forget, but I tried not to that happen.
Man, that's awesome. So I've always wanted to ask, when was Pink Mink Inc.? Were you a part of the original circle of that?
There was a very, very early start of what Pink Mink Inc. was, but I wasn't too involved. I want to say the first time I actually really got involved with Pink Mink Inc. was at a Wrestling for Charity show. Then it was me versus Aaron Solo at the time, and we were wrestling each other, and then Rick comes out. It looks like he's favoring Aaron, like he's scouting Aaron and trying to, I guess, have him be a part of his tag team. But by the end of it, swerve, he helps me. I get the win over Aaron Solo, and then we form Pink Mink Inc. And then from there, after that, just like when I started wrestling, it shot off after that, because we were wrestling practically everywhere but APW as Pink Mink Inc.
Oh, wow.
In Reno, we were Pink Mink Inc. In Sacramento, we were Pink Mink Inc. Sacramento Wrestling Federation, we were Pink Mink Inc. Up at Rikishi and Gangrel's thing, Knox Pro, we were NorCal Posse, which was just an extension of Pink Mink Inc.
Man.
PCW doing the same thing. Team Luxury turned into Pink Mink Inc. And I want to say that run happened between 2012 all the way up to, I want to say, 2000, maybe even 2011 to 2013, 14.
Wow, and you were affiliated that whole run?
One way or the other, yes. Yeah? Mostly with tags, with Rick, shortly at the end through singles, but through the most part, yeah.
So how do you feel about the difference between working face and heel? Do you have a preference? Or do you feel pretty comfortable in both suits?
I feel pretty comfortable in both suits, but I like to just say face, because a lot of people say it's harder to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I like that challenge of pushing myself to make it that I am a good guy, and I'm not just there because I'm the good guy. People are supposed to be cheering.
They're cheering for you.
Exactly.
Not because they're told to.
And I'm bringing it out of them. They're not just there to, okay, this is where we should cheer. We cheer. They really want to cheer you on. There's a big difference. Big difference.
Absolutely. So, with all the different titles that are available, because there's so many different companies, how many titles have you held over your?
I want to say there's a good handful. If I'm running through off the top of my head, at PCW I'm a Triple Crown champion. I've held their Inter California Championship. I've held their tag team titles twice, and I've held the heavyweight championship title they have there too.
That's exciting.
As far as my home at APW, I was 2007 Boot Camp Student of the Year, 2008 Young Lions Cup winner, 2009, I did pretty good too. 2010 is when I think that's the year I finally captured the internet championship, which has such a long legacy and a long lineage behind it. I mean, Brian Kendrick, Christopher Daniels, even like guys like B-Boy, Drake Younger, so many guys have held that title that put such a stamp and prestige on what that title represents, and I just love being a part of that and being able to uphold my half of it, because I felt like a lot of the times they thought, this is just the APW boot camp student kid, he doesn't deserve it, he's just the kid who's from the boot camp who's getting the title. But I really focused on trying to steal the show, and actually even a year before I actually won the title, because no matter what spot I was in, no matter what match number and how high or low on the card, during that year in 2010-11, I mean, I was just trying to steal the show. I was just trying to have a killer match. I was just trying to do things that no one else is doing, do things out of the box, which is kind of my style, and where the sense of like out of control comes from, because typically personally I'm not really out of control, but you get me in that ring, I will find a way to overcome and get out of control.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So when you win these titles, would you has there ever been a title win, or even just a simple situation that you would consider like a surreal moment, where you just kind of looked up at the lights in the crowd and thought like, wow, I did it. All the training, all everything, I did it.
There were two. The internet championship was definitely one, because unbeknownst to myself, it got moved from just being one of the semi-mains, I guess, to on the Halloween Hell show again, to the main event of the Halloween Hell show. Unbeknownst to me, so I showed up, we're main event, and I actually picked up the title that night.
Who was that? Who'd you win that from?
Mr. Wrestling number 4.
Oh, sweet. All right.
So, I mean, that match, it couldn't be better. And the memories I have for that are gold, because it was in the garage where I trained. It's in front of my family, who, we're all living close by at the time, so that was really good. And then my other one was at Hood Slam, because at Hood Slam, we've got the Golden Gig Championship, and I was only the second person to ever hold that title while I was Ryu during that run at the very beginning, and just the faith I felt like Hood Slam put into me to hold that title, being new, because I wasn't a part of the original Hood Slam. I probably came in maybe a year later. And then I came in, they welcomed me with open arms, put their biggest, title on me, and allowed me to do a lot of cool stuff I wasn't able to do, cutting live promos and controlling the crowd on the mic and not being sunken in or lost amongst them, being able to really control that audience. That was a good one too. And before we get too far, just other things, I don't mean to toot the old horn, but before I forget titles and guys who've also helped me, there was a time where Pink Mink Inc. was APW/Vendetta Pro Unified Tag Team Championships, and that was a title me and Rick held. Just want to throw that out there to Vendetta Pro for during that time when they were doing that talent exchange, we got a real good portion of tag teams to work or to wrestle. So it was a good time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So just kind of touch on Hood Slam a bit. I'm a huge fan. As a pro wrestler, I would assume that walking out in front of a crowd like that, I mean, that's got to give you chills. That's like a butterflies in the stomach kind of moment. Do you still get those?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
those never go away, huh?
No, not for me. I feel like, I guess they grow up, because when you're first starting, it's like, oh man, I'm just ready to wrestle. I want to get out there. But as I've kind of grown up, and it's just like, oh man, let's see how I could hold these people in the palm of my hand. Let's see what they'll react to, what they could bite onto, and that's really what I'm looking to do when I'm in front of those big crowds. And kind of, in a way, we're doing things that are different and different style, but in the nucleus of it, it is all still and very much pro wrestling.
Oh yeah.
So that's why that's what I'm trying to accomplish there.
Yeah. And just one more quick shout out with the situation you have over there is you're Ryu.
Yes.
Joe DeSoul's Ken.
Yes.
I can safely say this. One of the best matches you're going to see in Northern California is Matt Carlos versus Joe DeSoul.
Thank you very much.
I promise you that, man. That's really how I feel, and a lot of other people too. And how do you feel about that? Like, you guys have wrestled, I'm sure, a bunch. You guys are tag teaming. Is there a certain chemistry that you feel when you're wrestling Joe DeSoul?
I definitely do. Whether it's wrestling against him or tagging with him, Joe DeSoul is a great wrestler, and I think the thing we do so good as a tag team is I have a couple weaknesses, not many, but a couple, and Joe helps bring those weaknesses and puts them into strengths. And I feel vice versa. Other ways, I help him with maybe the little more experience I have to kind of be able to hold the crowd's attention or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a good, healthy balance. And I mean, there have been times where no matter if it's, Ryu and Ken or Sonya Blade and Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction, no matter what characters or
Sasha Banks and Charlotte.
Sasha Banks and Charlotte, we've also done that.
That was fun.
Like for all those, it's like no matter what we do, I trust Joe trusts me. We're able to put that spin on it. And one of the cool things about it is even when we're tag team, it comes in that much. It kind of pumps through the generator even that much harder. And I love tag teaming with them. I hope to tag team with them more all over the place.
Yeah. I actually was saying to a friend of mine, I said, if I was booking a show, I would for sure throw you guys, mid card, even main event. Because you guys really turn the crowd on. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So we'll definitely tap into your memory here just a little bit.
Sure.
I always like to ask certain questions, and one of them being road trips. So you get on the road?
Oh,
quite often, I would assume.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any funny road trip stories, or even maybe scary ones that almost was an accident, or anything off the top of your head that might be an interesting story to share?
Okay, cool. The first one will probably be my first road trip story ever. It's a good one.
Oh, cool.
It was me, Dave Dutra, Sparky Ballard, Marcus Mack, and Rick Luxury. We were all carpooling. And they were going down to LA, going down south. So this is a trip like, Sparky, Marcus, and Rick have all done before. Pretty new to me and Dave, though. So we hop in, we go, we stopped at the Lost Hills. The Lost Hills is one of the main stops going down to LA everybody stops at. So we're there, everyone's getting Subway. I think me and Dave went to the gas station or something across the street from the Subway really quick. And before we know it, when we come out with our waters and energy drinks or whatever it was at the time, cars nowhere to be found. No Sparky, no Marcus, no Rick, no car.
Yeah.
Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking, well, they're getting us. We're getting ripped here. So I just opened up my sandwich. I started eating. But one of the best parts was Dave Dutra because. Bless his heart, he's such a nice guy, but I think he was also still very worried. Like, he's on the phone, he was calling them, he's like, hey, where you guys at, la-di-da. So it's just funny in how people deal with things differently. Like, me, I'm more laid back, I'm like, yo, whatever, they left us, so funny, right? And Dave's like almost freaking out, so that was a good one.
Oh, that's funny. You want to hear something funny?
Yes.
I asked Sparky that same question and he brought up that story.
That is good.
I thought that was good. I was like,
that's
man, we started telling it right now. I was like, oh, this is too cool. This is too cool. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Matt Carlos. That's funny, man.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Back with Matt Carlos, it's funny stuff. So that's a funny, memorable moment, obviously, for road trips. What about like in-ring competition? Do you have any maybe a high spot or memorable moment from your in-ring?
Actually, one of my big pat on my back kind of moments was during that internet championship run I was talking about earlier. There was 2 matches I had. The first one was against Dark Sheik or Sheik Kanabati at the time, and we wrestled for the internet title, and pretty much everyone going in, and if you wrestle a show where Sheik is on, you know that he is a major fan favorite, and the fans love him no matter what character or anything he does. He's just loved. And a lot of people, I'd say like 90% of people that night thought he was taking the internet title, and I think from the matches he had before, well deserved. Yeah. But we just hit it hard that match. Everything was 110%. when it came to the chain wrestling, when it came to the high flying, when it came to like timing and everything was just there. And I really felt like, you know, I kind of turned the crowd, I'd like to say a little bit, to where they thought Sheik is definitely going to win the belt, to fuck, Matt is holding his own and he deserves this spot. And like to feel that little switch, like it just felt real personal to me, because that was in ring one of the best moments I had. And even afterwards when I won, I just let out this like very awkward like primal yell, because I was just like super proud of what just happened in that ring.
Right there.
And I totally was, and I'll never forget that, because I mean, hard work pays off. That's what they always say. And everyone in that ring that night, they saw how hard we were busting our ass. And even though we're, you know, smaller guys, we were able to deliver, I thought. And another rematch too. So it was killer time.
Do you keep that in the back of your mind? You know, do you consider yourself a smaller guy?
To an extent, definitely yes. Because now there's a lot of body guys, and I know we all try to keep up with them, and all try to stay healthy as we can. But I also find it a challenge too, because, you know, then you do have to switch up your game. You can't just keep on doing the same thing you always do. You got to be a little quicker. You got to hit them with a little bit higher impact. You know, you got to change up your game. And when you can do that seamlessly, then then it's really a proud moment where you're like, man, maybe I didn't win, maybe I don't look as big as him, maybe I don't look as good, but I still fucking gave him my all, and I still tried to give the best match I could in my form.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely relate to that. If you put your 110% in, just like he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta feel proud of that. Have there ever been any specific pops or any specific moments of heat that stick out to you, going like, wow, when you went to the back, like, damn, did you hear that? Or damn, did you hear what that guy said? I've heard some pretty loud pops for you, man. I attended
Thank
Slam.
you.
Place goes crazy.
There's always that roar at the beginning of Hood Slam when the band's going, and you could hear AJ doing his thing in the ring, and just that roar, you feel I really kind of compare it to like when you go to rock show concerts and you just feel the whole wave of people coming forward, you know. That's what I imagine when I hear that roar, and like to think, oh shit, these people are here to see what we can do. It's like, now you have to bring it. There's no turning back, dude. You have to bring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always a great feeling.
That's awesome. That's surreal in and of itself, right there.
Oh, for sure.
So you said earlier you had the Internet Championship match with Sheik. So I would think that was one of your favorite matches. Is he one of your favorite guys to work with?
Yeah, he's just so talented. He's so fluid.
Anybody else you could think of that you can just pick out to say, oh, I love working with so-and-so, or I love working with so-and-so?
I love working with Sheik. I love working with Rick Luxury. We have real good chemistry in there. Probably one of the best like toe-to-toe chemistries and naturally I've ever had was with Dave Dutra. There's a lot of matches we've had at the garage where it's just back and forth and super tight in that same internet title run.
Wow.
Yeah,
good stuff.
2 matches. So I mean, that was killer. One of my favorite matches, I have to say, is like against one of my heroes in wrestling, because I came up from the APW boot camp, and before I signed up, you know, you'd always see the names that came through the curtain at APW: Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and my personal favorite, Brian Kendrick. And I was lucky enough at Hood Slam to wrestle against Brian Kendrick as Ryu. And I mean, that guy was killer. It was killer to wrestle him. It was killer to be in the ring with him. And that's probably, I feel like, probably one of the best performances I've had. And I'd love to do it again. It was great.
That's awesome, man. Do you emulate yourself or your moveset? Is that something you came up with on your own? Or did you emulate it off of some of your favorites like Brian Kendrick? And I've also heard you say Owen Hart.
Oh, yeah. Owen Hart's definitely my favorite. And there are things I like to take here and there, or kind of try to emulate here and there. But for the most part, as far as like moveset goes, I always try to do stuff that would fit me, but work for the way I would do it. And I try to change it up. So I don't like doing stuff like the way everybody else does it. I like to do things a little differently, so people don't expect, what I'm bringing. They're not, taking the elbow that they always do. But they're running. They don't see me before you know it. I pop up and I hit an elbow.
Yeah.
Just different things like that. But I really try to put a spin on most of the moves I do.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. You're just trying to be different.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You got to stand out. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody in Northern California that you'd like to work that you haven't worked yet?
There are a lot of people. Right off the top of my head, I know the Reno Wrestle Factory have got a bunch of top name students that are coming out. I mean, Striker, Carl Fredericks, Ryan McQueen, the list goes on and on. Any one of those guys I'd love to work. And pretty much just anyone that is a true student of the game of wrestling, because I could always learn something, and if they're a student of the game as much as I'm a student of the game, then win, lose, or draw, I'll be able to learn something and better my game after that.
Yeah, I like that. So you're still, that still applies. Every day in pro wrestling, when you're a pro wrestler, I'm assuming you always are learning and evolving your moveset, character, and so on.
Oh, for sure. You always want to evolve. You never want to stay behind, and yeah, that's always something. You never stop learning. If you've learned everything in the business, then it might be time to move on. It's kind of like a thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'd say the true way to look at it is you never stop learning, because no one's perfect every single match, every single time. So you have to improve and pick your points and try to be the best you can.
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. You know, I'm a huge fan. I always have been. You know, the first time I seen you, I think, was at Hood Slam as Ryu. Yes. And then and I spotted you at a couple different shows. You were Gold Rush here.
Yes,
how's
correct.
it working with Cowboy Charlie?
Cowboy Charlie, actually, growing up before my own eyes, I've known him since he was 11. I think he's 13 now. And he's, as young as he is, and maybe even a little too young for some people's liking, but I think he's coming on. He's doing everything everyone else is doing in our class, and he runs just as far as everyone else, sometimes quicker than a lot of other people. So as long as you, like I said, as long as you have that love for wrestling, I mean, I can't turn away from you, because I love wrestling too.
Oh man, so working with somebody like Charlie, being so young, and we're here at the Gold Mine. I seen you in there training tonight. Are you a big part of training some of these younger guys today?
I wouldn't say a big part. I would say maybe a quarter part of it, because right now I'm training the semi-pros here at the Gold Mine, and after tonight I feel there's some times where people rave about their championships and stuff that they win, but really those guys out there, my championship, to know that these guys are picking up what I'm laying down, understand what I mean, and see everything that I want, kind of the way that everyone else knows it to be, to see that, I think that's more rewarding than anything else. It's just to see guys I've trained start giving other advice to other guys that are still coming up. I mean, to know that they're retaining that, and also having that helping hand like I did. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I love it here at the Gold Mine. I love the kids' attitudes at the Gold Mine, and I love how much brotherhood we have here.
Brotherhood.
Yes.
That's something to be touched on too. So as a pro wrestler, there's a certain level of trust you have to have with everybody. It really is like a brotherhood, huh?
Oh, for sure. Because really, you are training, you are putting your life in their hands, and it takes a special certain someone to be able to harness that, understand the depth of that, and actually do it. And if you don't do it, and you're just kind of on the side kind of a person, you won't really understand the full effect of how much that brotherhood sinks in once you do put your life in someone else's hands.
Man, absolutely, dude. Wow. So, Matt Carlos, man, it's absolutely been a pleasure, dude. I really do. I think we left a little room for next time.
Yo, for sure.
Right?
Anytime. I mean, this is a great program. It's great to be a part of it, and
thanks,
entertaining as hell. So
that's awesome.
I enjoy it.
That's awesome. So I definitely don't want to let you go though. We're not talking about social media. You have you got Twitter, right?
I do. I'm on the Twitter. I'm on the Instagram, and I have a Facebook page. And on all those, you'll see pictures.
What's the Twitter handle?
Twitter handle is that Matt Carlos, THAT Matt Carlos. Same as my Instagram, and Facebook will be Out of Control Matt Carlos if you look that up.
And you have merch?
I do. I have 2 shirts out right now. I've got.
We'll take a look at those.
It was actually designed by your brother, and he killed it.
Oh, nice, nice.
And then the second one I'm actually really proud of, because it's a part of the line of the Doc Atrocity t-shirt design.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's the Fireball one. Slightly based off of Street Fighter without using anything Street Fighter as much as I could. And I let Doc know what I wanted, and he nailed it, and even added a couple things. And there's a big line of guys who've got Doc Atrocity design t-shirts. I think Choopy, Virgil, the Scum, and I'm just glad to, slowly and easily put my name on that list too.
Oh, I got a little out of control there.
Yeah, exactly. I had to.
That's cool, man. And you can hit him up on social media for any of that stuff. Make sure to follow, retweet, all that stuff. Matt Carlos, man, it's really been a pleasure. I appreciate you, bro. It's NorCal Night, guys. Thank you.
NorCal Night. See you guys next time.
Awesome.